Hi folks, welcome to another video by the brilliant Expattaffy. A video titled Fake Moon Landings, Crater or No Crater? You decide. Now, what this is about, folks, is I recently showed this photo, Apollo 11, in another video of mine. NASA claims it was taken on the moon, but I also displayed this photo here, which was taken here on the Earth, and as you can see, apart from the colouring, it's exactly the same photo. Now, what that brought, folks, is a challenge from one of the NASA shills, Silent Hunter. Another idiot who could never make a debater because he cannot recognize a man-made crater. Now, folks, as far as I'm concerned, Silent Hunter is so thick, I'm sure he's got to be just a sock puppet for another mentally insane NASA idiot, the one who was always speaking through his Astrobrand, the one the brilliant Expattaffy sent packing 2 years ago. Somebody so thick, he made so much stupid statements, he can't come back and face the shame. He did try for a couple of weeks, but he soon went, and then in came this Silent Hunter. Now, take a look at this here, folks. Here's something that idiot Astrobrand claims to be a crater full of rocks. Just shows the man's brain is dead. As I told him, craters on the moon are created from asteroid impacts, and when they explode and shatter into millions of pieces, they don't go straight up and come back down in the hole that the asteroid created. And another thing, what you'll find with this is, close examine of all what looks to be rocks, you'll find it's full of man-made metal objects. Man-made metal objects, folks. And that idiot Astrobrand asked, how can you say they are metal objects when they haven't been brought back to the Earth for analysing? And what you'll find in this photo is metal objects such as a stand, an axle stand or a pipe stand. Now, I've never known a pipe stand or an axle stand made of anything but metal, have you? This is full of man-made metal objects, and there is another clue telling you it's not an asteroid impact on the moon. Can any of you spot it? There you are. I'll give you some minutes to test your perception and see if any of you can spot a great deception. It's staring you right in the face. Can you see it? Well, just watch the next photo coming up and let's see if that wakes up your brain. See if you can spot it from this photo. There you are. What have we got there? We've got craters. And what will you get when you get an asteroid crater? You'll get a raised rim around it. All the material have been removed from the impact area and blown out radially all around and create a raised ring around the impact area. You haven't got it on that photo I just showed you. And proof that is taken on the Earth, on the waste dump. Here's some metal objects here you'll find in that photo. There you are. You've got an axle stand and you've got a girder bracket at the top. Something that the mentally insane idiot Astrobrand claims, how can you say they are metal? Well, I've never seen an axle stand or a girder clamp with a bolt that's not metal. Now there, folks, here's those two photos I presented. According to the nutters, the one on the right I invented. The bunny Brian Pop Robson states they look the same but not identical. Well, pretty obvious they're not identical because the colours are different, aren't they, idiot? But it is the same crater photo taken on the Earth as I will prove, and the one on the left is simply doctored up to put in the Apollo 11 library, as I will prove now. Now there folks, look at this photo here. Note the edge of the crater along the top and along the bottom. Okay? You've not got a raised rim around it. So if this was created by an asteroid, where's the displaced rocks and soil from it? They haven't been chucked out on the side. As you can see, there is no raised rim whatsoever. It is not a genuine crater by an asteroid. And another thing, why is it different colour to the previous photo I showed you? Now folks, coming back to these two photos here, the one on the left, the darker one, is definitely claimed to be on the moon in the Apollo 11 library, AS11-40-5954. Now, there's no way that NASA claims that the one on the right was taken on the moon. So the question must be, where was it taken? Well, if it wasn't taken on the moon, folks, there's only one place it could have been taken, and that is here on the Earth. And here's where it was taken. And here it is, folks, a screenshot from an excellent site, a site titled Apollo Reality 2. Now, the crater on the right is actually the same crater that's in the left photo. And I did get it wrong on this particular one. This one was not taken at the Flagstaff waste disposal site. It was taken at Houston. You can see NASA's headquarters in the background. And the crater on the left is the crater that's on the right, with just a bit of doctoring, shadows added. But that's the crater, and as you will read from Sam Apollo Reality 2, I'll be showing you this crater in around about 5 other Apollo photos. All they done was a little bit of photoshopping and doctored them up, added a couple of rocks, a bit of shadow, and made some small differences. But it was used time after time. There you are, folks. The initial photo of that so-called crater at Houston. Notice how you've got two-tone colours along the top of the crater. And you'll find you've got exactly the same in the other two. There you are. Note the two colour tones along the top of the crater. This one that's not claimed to be taken on the moon, so it must have been taken on the Earth. You've got your two colour tones along the top. And also notice my bottom arrows. It shows the edge of the crater, this side, virtually straight. And just remember, no raised edges. No raised diameter circumferences like you'd get with a genuine asteroid-created crater. There you are, there's the three of them together. So for that idiot, Paul Hunter, the photo on the right, if you don't think it's the same as the photo on the left, then tell us where it came from, because it's not claimed to be taken on the moon. Now, here's more proof that this photo they claim was taken on the moon is 100% fake. It's not taken on the moon at all, as you will see coming up. Now here's where you idiots claim I'm distorting the photos. I am not distorting the photos, I'm only searching for evidence by brightening it up slightly. And look what we've got. We've got a blue beam light up above, and you've got a crosshair on top of the black airbrushed in shadow. The crosshair is on top, which proves what I said time after time. The crosshairs are added after the photo is finished. And here's what you've got in that crater. And smack in the bloody middle, the bullseye, you can see a whistleblower's eye catcher, a white patch with a black pupil. And what have you got? The left arrow at the bottom is showing what appears to be a breeze pattern building block. And the arrows on the right shows the remains of a demolished hexagonal stone pillar. You can distinctly see the flat stones cemented together with cement. Now, coming back to this photo here, that NASA claims was taken on the moon. Anyone who believes that must be a goon. Take a look at it coming up next. Now, take a look at it here. This is the same crater, just the camera moved to the right a bit. Okay? It's the same crater. But look what we've got. We've now got a lens flare, and we've got 2 spotlights. Okay? Now this is supposed to be for Apollo 11. But take a look at the next photo coming up, folks. Now take a look at this photo. This is for Apollo 12. AS12-49-7213. First thing to notice, look on the astronaut's boot. You've got a whistleblower's clue, an eye catcher. A white eye with a black pupil. But look up on the right hand side, you've got 2 spotlights and a lens flare, same as you had in the previous photo for Apollo 11. And what you know, folks, the crater there is exactly the same crater. It's the crater that was first photographed at Houston. It's the same crater, yes. Some difference, just a little bit of Photoshop. Get rid of some of the boulders, put more in, but it's the same shape. It's the same crater. And you'll also find it in Apollo 16 and Apollo 17. Here you are. Here's that Apollo 12 photo again, without the astronaut. I've cropped the astronaut out to enlarge the crater. And there's a number of similarities. Notice you've got the crater, and on the left you've got the sloped up end of the crater. Okay? And above the crater, you've just got a small amount of land before the sky. Same as with the Apollo 11 photo. And look at the bottom, the edge of the crater, the same straight edge, and no built-up rims anywhere on it. Here you are, here's the 2 of them combined. The Apollo 12 crater, notice the sloping up end crater on the left, and the Apollo 11 crater, same sloping up end. And what you'll find, look at the tops of both craters, no raised rims, only a short distance from the top of the crater to the horizon, same in both of them. And what you'll find is the bottom edge of the crater is the same, as you will see in the next photo coming up. All this has had is a little bit of photoshopping to disguise the shadows. But watch the next photo coming up. There you are. Here's them 2 photos showing the crater for Apollo 12 and Apollo 11 on the right. Notice the similarities. Both have got the sloped up end on the left. Both have got a short amount of soil at the top to the horizon, and both have got the same straight edge on the bottom. And again, note in both of them, no raised rim. So it wasn't made by an asteroid at all. It was simply made on Earth with a digger, and as they removed the soil, it got bigger and bigger. Now folks, just remember, they had to make up around about 3,500 photos. You need a lot of land scenes for that. So when they make a land scene up, like that crater at Houston, they don't just take one photo of it and then dump it in the bin and say, oh, we'll have to make up another one. They do a lot of alterations to each of these land scenes they make. Sometimes they mirror image, sometimes they'll add other items, sometimes they'll darken, sometimes they'll lighten, sometimes they'll add different shadows. They'll play around with it, and they can make a dozen different land scenes out of just one, just by playing around with Photoshop. That's what they had to do. And as I just shown you with the Apollo 12 photo, that's what they done there. And what I can tell you, this crater, they made up about 14 different photos with it. And I'll show you another one. And here you are, Apollo 12 again. Just remember, this crater first appeared in Apollo 11. But here it is again, the same crater, Just look at what they've done with this one. They've darkened it down to stop you recognizing it's the same crater. But I'll brighten it up for you now for you to see the similarities in the Apollo 11 one. Just like I showed you with the last Apollo 12 photo. Just look at it coming up, brightened up. There you are, that's brightened up. It's the same crater. Notice the real points of interest. No raised rim around the crater. If it hasn't got a raised soil and rock rim around it, it's not an asteroid impact on the moon. It's a man-made dugout hole in the ground. Same as with Apollo 11 one. Look at the narrow strip of the ground at the top of the crater to the sky. That's similar. And look at the left side, sloping up to the left, and this side of the crater, a sharp edge of the crater. Okay? Now, you can forget what's in the crater, because Kiptik can put whatever he likes in the crater. And here's a good example. Here you are, folks. Here's the same crater again. And this is Kiptik having a bit of fun with it. Just notice the very back corner of this Jeep. Look at the crater this side, the rim of the crater. A sharp edge crater rim again. And as you can see, no raised rim around the crater. This is Kip telling us I can put in the crater whatever the hell I like. He's showing you here. And for the benefits of the idiot, Bertie Slack, and Phase 52, here's Kip again, showing us his expertise with the photo. Those two idiots who claim there's no photos made at Flagstaff, Arizona. Well, just look at his Jeep here. He've airbrushed that in onto a moon photo. And if you look at the number plate, it says Arizona. So, I wonder what the transgender paedophile Bertie Slack has got to say about that, folks. So now, let's look at this photo here. A famous photo that all experts say cannot be Charlie Duke standing by a crater, a genuine photo, because he's got the sun or the light behind him, and he's all lit up on the front. I've proven this to be fake in the past. He hasn't got an aerial for a start, but now some more damning evidence to prove that it is fake. There you are, first things first. I brightened it up 2 settings, and the shadow will not brighten up to reveal any detail of the ground below. It's a fake airbrushed in shadow for a start. And also notice the 2 spotlights that was in the Apollo 12 photo earlier on. Now for the final damning evidence on this photo, just look at the similarities we got. This is the same crater that I've shown you in Apollo 12 and Apollo 11. It's just the right hand end of it. Look at the similarities. Top of the crater to the horizon, as you had with Apollo 11 and 12. And another thing, no raised rim around the crater, so it could not have been created by an asteroid on the moon. It's simply a dugout hole here on the Earth. And as the bottom arrow shows, with the yellow text, look again, the sharp edge of the crater, same as you've got with all the ones I've shown you so far. Like I said, it doesn't matter what is in the crater, they will put whatever they like in it. But they've used this photo time after time. They've got to do it to cover the number of photos they created. This is the same crater, folks. Now, folks, coming back to this photo here, I had a challenge from a nutcase that goes by Silent Hunter, an idiot who's thicker than Billy Bunter. And here's his challenge here, folks. Here's his challenge coming up. And here's his challenge, folks. This Silent Hunter, who's nothing more than a sock puppet for another NASA idiot who made himself scarce on YouTube because the brilliant Expattaffy gave his Astrobrant a good kicking, and he haven't got the guts to show his face today. Silent Hunter commented, "I'm calling Taffy out on this one. We need a source for your photo comparison next to blah blah blah, the Apollo 11 one." What this idiot, Astrobrand, couldn't do, he couldn't find the source for this photo here. And there's good reason he couldn't find it, as I'll explain now. The reason this Astrobrand, Silent Hunter, couldn't find this photo anywhere is because it's no longer in any of the Apollo libraries. It used to be the first one for this Apollo 11 photo, but after it got exposed as a fake by Sam for Apollo Reality 2, it got deleted and replaced with this. That's why you won't find that other version anywhere in any Apollo libraries today, but you will still get it at Apollo Reality 2, and I leave the link for that in the pre-report. Now look at this photo here at the Flagstaff waste dump or landfill site. Now tell me folks, what is making this hole? Is it an asteroid or is it a mole? Anyone with any brains can see it's a digger, and the more it's digging, the hole gets bigger and bigger. Now folks, what we have here is another crater at Flagstaff landfill site. Here we have a man-made crater. It looks more realistic. It has a rim that's much greater. According to NASA, these craters were for training. To which I asked NASA, please do some explaining. Now, all we have seen is astronauts running about, but they never jumped into a crater and they never jumped out. Obviously, NASA, these fake craters serve no other purpose than for photograph takers. Now look at this one, folks. The raised rim is much bigger. Looks like they've done a better job with that digger. And here's a photo for the idiot, Phase 52. It's not an industrial waste dump like the ones shown by you. Here is the Flagstaff landfill site. And if you read at the top, it says astronaut training, Cinder Lakes, Flagstaff, Arizona. And the bottom left-hand corner shows USGS. That's the company that NASA hired to make all the fake photos. Okay folks, that just wraps it up for this video. Fake moon landings, crater or no crater. What I want to do here now is throw in this photo here, which was a photo that I used in my last video, NASA's Fake Lens of Lies, Volume 3. The reason I'm putting this in, folks, I proved this photo was fake in more than one way, but I can tell you I'm very annoyed with myself for not noticing one very, very important clue here, folks. I wonder how many of you can spot it. Who can spot it? A clue, and it's obviously by the whistleblowers, that this photo is fake because the action being taken here is completely impossible. Let's see who can be the first to come up with the real clue by the whistleblowers that this is fake. What I'll do, I'll be kind to all of you. I'll give you a little clue. And that clue is, it's staring you in the face.